I'm 133 pounds heavier today than I was in March of 2022. I don't want to contract a preventable deadly disease, but the reality is, at my present weight of 313 pounds, I am at extraordinarily high risk of contracting a preventable deadly disease. And I got a lot to be concerned about because diabetes runs in my family, and my family has also struggled a great deal over time with their weight and specifically succumbing to obesity at certain points in their lives. So I'm certainly not alone in that sense. It runs in the family. In this video, though, I want to clarify that I was not always at this weight. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but there was a time when I was healthy, when I was physically fit, and I was taking as much as 30,000 steps a day on average. I did track and cross country in high school. I ran all the time when I was in college. So I was extremely physically active, but a significant mental health episode happened during my junior year at university. This mental health episode had a myriad of significant consequences. There's nothing equivocal about that fact. I got kicked out of my university. I lost my full-time job. I also lost a part-time job that I had attained at one point. Failed all my classes that semester. It was overall an extraordinarily bad experience. It was very traumatizing, and it's because of my diagnosis of bipolar type 1 with psychotic features. I was undiagnosed at the time, and I didn't have the insight or discernment to know and understand that there was something extremely wrong with me. But for those around me, it was quite obvious that there was something wrong with the Tyler Adolfo that they knew. I weighed 180 pounds going into my junior year of college. And for 6 months, I suffered from mania with psychosis. At the end of those 6 months, though, I was still 180 pounds. So, unlike the experience of some others who might gain weight during mania, I actually did not gain weight during mania. And I think a big part of that is that during mania, I had so much built up energy that I had to exert. And I was walking extreme amounts. I'm talking like there were days where I had as many as 50,000 steps, and that's not hyperbole whatsoever. I still have the phone, and I can look back at the data, and when I look at it, it amazes me that I took as many steps as I did. It's very intriguing to me that I was able to do that. The weight gain started in my next mental health episode. It started in around March of 2022. And over the course of the next year and a half, I battled with severe depression. This severe depression coincided with weight gain. Throughout the course of this depression, I was put on a plethora of different medications, many of which had light to moderate weight gain listed as a side effect. Now, I could go ahead and enumerate the various medications that I have taken over the course of my time battling bipolar disorder, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want to bash medications in any sense. Without question, medications have saved my life. They pulled me out of the depths of mania psychosis, and I'm on a strong medical cocktail today that empowers me to slowly regain control of my life. So it's important to understand that during mania, I was having delusions of grandiosity, and I was feeling like I was on top of the world. And during this depressive period, I plummeted and went into the abyss of despair. This significantly affected my eating habits in a way that was detrimental to my overall health. I lost a lot of motivation, and food really became a coping mechanism for myself because I was dealing with a lot of embarrassment and shame as a result of things I had said and done during mania. And As I mentioned, medication also played a role, in my view, in addition to overeating. But the pros of taking the medications, in my case, disproportionately outweigh the cons, including the weight gain. And I'm confident that on my current medication cocktail that I'll be able to get the weight off eventually. But without a shadow of a doubt, being this overweight has severely diminished my self-esteem. I'm not as confident as I used to be. I'm very self-conscious about my body and what I look like. And it comes with physical ailments as well. When I'm exercising, I experience feet pains very frequently. When I'm laying down, I often experience back pains. And I'm also just embarrassed to be out in public, even to be around my own family, because I'm afraid of judgment and I'm not happy with the way that I look. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. One thing I want to stress is your weight and losing weight, it's not a simple matter of willpower. You'll often hear people contend or advance the argument that if you aren't losing weight, then you're just not trying hard enough. If you're not losing weight, you just need more willpower and determination. It's not as simple as that when you add the layer of a mental health disability that affects approximately just 1% of the world. It's easy to make that assertion when you're part of the 99% that doesn't have an extremely rare mental illness that affects you in so many negative ways. So my hope in making this video is to really shed a light on the role that mental health can play in your weight, because it certainly played a role in my present weight, and it's going to continue to play a role going forward, whether I become heavier or lighter. I have taken small steps of change over the course of the last few years. As an example, in December of 2023, I signed up for gym membership. I mentioned how I'm 133 pounds heavier today than I was in March of 2022, but my actual peak was 354 pounds. So I've been able to go from 354 to 313. Is it as much progress as I would have liked to make? Absolutely not. Is the progress something that I could continue to build on? Absolutely. So I'm not stopping here. I'm going to keep doing my best to try to get the rest of this weight off. In my last video, I talked about how I'm going to be returning to university soon. And, I'm hoping I could return to university and have some of my self-confidence back and my self-esteem be higher. I think that self-esteem and success academically are closely intertwined. And it's not that I can't succeed at a heavy weight. I've been heavy in the past and thrived academically. But I think that it's easier. It alleviates a lot of stressors when you're at a healthy weight and when you're physically active. So I'm striving to get as much of this weight off as possible between now and about late August of this year when I'll be returning to university. If you're interested in hearing more of my videos, watching more of my videos, and hearing me talk and rant in my garrulous way, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. I feel like I'm a pretty nice, understanding, empathetic, intelligent guy, and I have things of value to share. If you disagree, then don't subscribe, but I'd appreciate it if you do subscribe and check out more of my content. I have over 80 plus videos talking about my battles with bipolar disorder specifically. If you're interested in learning more about that condition, definitely check them out. Or if you have the condition yourself, I strongly recommend that you check those videos out. I talk about everything from coping mechanisms, craziest things I've done during mania, reacting to videos of me while manic, how I cope during depressive episodes. There's so much information there, and people have told me that they find it insightful and valuable. Regardless of whether you subscribe or not, thank you for tuning in for this video. It means a lot to me that you allowed me to delineate my experience with being obese. And let's hope that I get this weight off soon, because I don't want to contract a deadly preventable disease. And if you're overweight, you shouldn't want to contract a deadly disease either. It's possible, it's within our power to make the change we want to see. We just have to be perseverant, but we have to do so in a way that's not neglecting our mental health. Our mental health is so paramount. I cannot stress that enough. I do believe that me being overweight is ephemeral. It's not going to last forever. I'm confident in my ability to get these pounds off. And even though I'm angry about the weight I'm at, I know that I have what it takes to placate that anger and get to a position where I'm happy with myself again. I'm an audacious person. I'm willing to do what it takes. And with that, peace out.